Hi, I'm Vanessa Webster. Many of you know me, some of you don't. But I'm here to share a story. Some of you know my story, some of you don't. And the sole purpose of this video is to shed light on my story, my testimony. The purpose of it is to shed light on some things that I've been through. Also to give a voice to some things that I've personally gone through, and to inform some people about things that are happening in the church that happened to me, that many people hear about but just don't know about. So that's the reason for this video. I want to be very transparent and open about what I've been through, and also to let the enemy know that he's not won, that I am victorious because of what I've been through. I don't know anything. So I sat outside of that precinct for maybe like an hour. And I'm like, okay, let me just wait him out. By the time I get back home, he'll be asleep and I'll just go back. So about 12:30, I'm getting texts, Vanessa, where are you? Come back. I go back home, he's asleep. So I go to sleep. I wake up the next day now, and I'm like, okay, this is something's got to give. So the next morning, as if nothing happened, just Vanessa, help me find my keys. I'm like, help me find your keys? Do you realize you hit me last night? I'm sorry, can you just help me find my keys? I'm like, okay. So this is an indication that this is not going to change. So he was still going to work. He was still leaving home, going to work. That's what it was. I was teaching from home. So now I'm like, Vanessa, you've got to go. Because now with COVID and you being home, you could be bruised and beat and no one would know. You're teaching virtually. I can possibly teach with the camera off if I had to. No one would know. This is a recipe for like a real problem. So the first thing I did, and this was God. I go on my computer and I literally typed in, helpmefindanapartment.com. Didn't even know if it was a real website. I just said, findanapartment.com to see what came up. Some things came up. So I'm like, I'm going to start looking for somewhere to stay. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I have to start. So I go look at one spot, and it wasn't for me. It was a basement apartment somewhere, didn't have a stove and anything. I'm like, no, this is not for me. I go look at some other place, and then I look at another spot, and this spot on the website, it had these beautiful pictures of this apartment. I'm like, what are the chances of the apartment looking like the pictures? Called the guy up. I said, I'd like to take a look. He said, sure. The apartment looked exactly like the pictures. I was like, sir, what's going on with this? This place has got forks and knives and spoons and plates and cups, fully furnished, a leather couch, queen-size bed with all of the quilts and pillows stuff. He said, well, this place was going to be an Airbnb, but because of COVID, we put it on the market. I said, well, how many people have looked at the apartment? He said, you're the first one. I said, okay, what do I have to do to secure the place? He said, just give us information, give us, they asked for the W-2 and all that stuff. I gave him what I had, and within 48 hours, I was approved for the apartment. I'm like, that doesn't happen in New York. That doesn't happen. So I'm like, okay, God, this is your doing. So we talked some more, and I said to the guy, okay, now, what about all the stuff that's here? The kitchen table, and the couch, and all this stuff that's here. What does this stuff come with the apartment? He says, well, do you need stuff? I'm like, well, yeah, I could use all of this. And he quoted me a price for all the stuff. It was pennies for what he wanted for everything as is. He said, you can keep everything in here. And he said, I won't even ask you for a lump sum. We'll take it, we'll tack it onto your rent for 12 months, for the year. You pay a little piece at the end of your rent for the whole year, and once it's paid off, it's done. I'm like, again, that just doesn't happen. So I started making plans. I put down a deposit, I put down the first month's rent security, and I gave him an additional month's rent because I didn't have my tax forms because my ex-husband had them. So I'm like, if I ask him for my paperwork, he's going to be suspicious. So I can't even let him know while I'm asking for this stuff. So now I secured a spot. So now I'm in my house purging things, getting rid of old clothing, old shoes. I'm purging. And he's not even, making a connection because I'm always cleaning up and doing this and going food shopping because I did all of that by myself. So now I've secured an apartment. So okay, now I need a way to do this without any craziness happening or him, snapping and finding out that I'm leaving. So I'm packing up things, and while he's at work, and because my days ended at 3:00, sometimes 1:00, I'd run over there, pack up some things, bring some things over, bring dishes over, bring some clothes over, but nothing that would alarm him that, like, Vanessa, where are all your clothes? So I started that, and I would food shop. I stocked the refrigerator, the freezer, because I was ready to go. So now I finally made the decision I had to let him know that I'm leaving. So one day I'm out, I'll go for a walk, I'm out walking, and I found there was a brand new U-Haul place that just opened up a block away. I go over there and I'm like, I need a truck. He's like, sure. I secure the truck, I give him the date. So I'm like, okay, so now the morning comes. So I go in and I said, listen, we need to talk. I said, you told me that if you ever hit me again, you would leave. So you hit me again and you didn't leave. So because you didn't leave, I'm leaving. He looked shocked and asked me the craziest question. He said, but what about the rent for this month? The rent is your question? And then the next question was, what about the church? I said, now I'm wondering, are you hearing what you're saying? Because you've not been concerned about the church in all this time that you're hurting me. Now that I'm leaving, your concern is the church. I said, listen, you handle what you need to handle at the church, but I'm leaving. And as soon as I said that, I had a friend of mine that was standing outside the door waiting. She came in, and I'm gonna be honest, I brought my friend that I knew if stuff broke out, she'd be ready. She came with boxes and a machete in her back pocket. She was ready. I said, listen, I knew I couldn't start packing things by myself. I needed somebody there with me. And I had another friend downstairs in her car with her husband praying while I was upstairs packing my things. I'm packing my things. So now because someone else is there, I'm shielded by, you're not going to do but so much because someone else is here. So she would stay in the apartment while I would take things to the U-Haul truck. And then she would go down to take things to the truck, and I'd be upstairs. And then I would get conversations like, well, who are you leaving me for? I'm not leaving you for anybody. I'm leaving you. Questions like, are you going to keep your vows? You're asking all the wrong things, saying all the wrong things. Not, I'm sorry, not, I love you, not, I'll try again. I'm hearing things like the rent and the church and stuff like that. So I just continued packing my things. And I packed up all the boxes and drove to my new spot. And it was a lot. It was a lot. Mentally, it was a lot because never lived on my own. I went from my mom's house straight to being married. Never went away to college. So this was a first for me. And it was a lot. It was really, really, really a lot. And I remember sitting up in this bed that first night. I'll never forget it. And I'm like, oh snap. I'm in my own apartment right now. Like, for real, for real. It was crazy. I remember when I got here, the tenants, it's a two-family house. I'm in it now, a two-family house, and I was living upstairs, and now I'm downstairs. But the downstairs tenant was two teenage boys. I paid them some money to help me unload the truck. Took the truck back. I had everything unpacked. This was a Saturday night. Sunday, I cried all Sunday. I couldn't even, the thought of go to church where? That was the first thing, like, where do I go to church? I was the first lady of this church, so where do I go to church? So I remember that Sunday, I just spent it crying. I would get up, make a cup of tea, and just cry. And I cried as much as I could till I couldn't even cry anymore. And the next day, that Monday morning, I'm at my desk, computer on, virtually teaching my students as if nothing happened. No, I didn't miss a beat with work. I didn't have to take off time from work. And Wi-Fi came with the apartment. You know, everything came. Everything was just there. And so this was May, March. The height of the COVID is when I left. March. So by that September, I knew I had to get some counseling. I knew it. My head was spinning. I was driving through the streets, and every time I saw a car, his color, I would freeze up. I'm like, oh God, he found me. Oh my God, he found me. He found me. He found me. So I'm like, I got to talk to somebody, because I am driving around in fear. Because I'm like, I didn't change jobs, so if he wanted to come by my job, he could. I knew what color car he had. He knew what car I had. So as I'm driving, any day I'm driving, I'm like, he could find me. And I moved not even 15, 20 minutes away. So we were somewhat in the same community. So if he could find me if he wanted to. So I said, I got to go get counseling. And I found the scripture, Proverbs 28:26 says, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. So I knew counseling was what I had to do. And I want to say this. I went to pastoral counseling. Amazing. But they advised me, and I also knew that I needed to get professional counseling. And I'm not saying that, pastoral counseling is, not needed. But in a situation like this, I needed something more than pastoral counseling. To the pastors that did counsel me, I'm going to publicly say thank you. I'm not going to say any names, but they know who they are. Two pastors and their wives, a pastor and his wife and another pastor and his wife. Oh my gosh, they helped me see so many things that I needed to see, and they brought so many things to my attention, and I knew I had to do professional counseling. Professional counseling saved my life. It helped me to understand the origin of what I was dealing with personally in terms of why and why not. Why did it happen? Why didn't certain other things happen? Soul ties, and there's a list of things that I learned. And one of the things that I had to deal with was just saying the word divorce.